draft of the day. This time we're going to take a look at Alex Watt's deck, and you get a look at where he was across the table from Ian Barber, who we just saw draft there. Some question mark Jeskai action. We'll have to see how he ends up building from his pool. Alex Watt had a really sweet Jeskai draft for the first draft of the day. He said, well, I won't spoil it. He made a comment about this deck. I almost said it. I'll let you guys know after the draft how it went. All right, let's take a look at his pack one, pick one potentials here. Some good options, Reed.
Yeah, so right away, Beacon Bolt and Notion Rain catch my eye as strong multicolor cards. Traditionally, it's a little risky to open with a pick one multicolor card, but I think with Guilds of Ravnica, that's sort of what you sign up for. And either Beacon Bolt, probably Beacon Bolt a little better than Notion Rain. They're good directive cards to put you right into a guild and see if you can find the cards to support them.
But you can't sing Notion Rain, like you know, with Beacon Bolt.
That's true. Alex will have to forego that one, sadly.
Oh, well. Beacon Bolt, the pickup here, we've seen it do a lot of work this weekend. Is it Guild, perfectly situated to make the best use of this card. There's a chance for glory at Mythic Rare, but not necessarily a great card. Command the Storm here, shuffle to the front.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect second pick after Beacon Bolt. Just another nice red spell-based removal card. You really can't go wrong in an Izzet deck with Command the Storm.
Sonic Assault, also potential consideration for him here, or at least just remembering that it's in the pack as to what he might wheel.
Absolutely. There's some nice Selesnya cards, but nothing strong enough, I think, that would make him change gears after the first pick, Beacon Bolt.
Yeah, it's nice to hear you say, you know what, that's what you sign up for in Guilds of Ravnica, taking a multicolored card, pack one, pick one, kind of assuage some of the guilt I feel when I do that.
Yeah, it's good to be aware of what's coming to you, what the signals are telling you, but you have to be willing to take some risks because you know, if you're going into pick 5, 6, 7 and you haven't decided on a guild yet, you're really giving up a lot of power. So I don't think you should be too scared of diving right in head first.
Fresh-faced Recruit, the pickup here for Alex Watt. First strike on your turn.
Yep, so totally fine card in any Izzet deck, but particularly good in Izzet Aggro or Boros. Alex with a second and third pick, effectively mono red card, leaving himself open if he needs to pivot into Boros rather than Izzet.
Piston Fist Cyclops, great in Izzet. There's some removal in the form of Luminous Bonds, Color the Culprit, Sure Strike, and a Guildgate in this pack.
So this is a cool pick where he can stay on track with Piston Fist Cyclops. That's a strong card in Izzet, or he could take maybe the slightly stronger Luminous Bonds and be open to either Izzet or Boros. We pretty much know he's red, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to leave two paths open to himself. Interesting pick.
Yeah, Luminous Bonds to pick up here for Watt. We haven't seen any green drafting going on, at least not from our three featured drafters. Candlelight Vigil, there's a Gate, there's another Piston Fist Cyclops, Skyline Scout, another fresh-faced Recruit.
So if he really wants to be Boros, he's probably looking at one of those two-drop creatures. If he is still open to drafting Izzet, the Piston Fist Cyclops should be a strong consideration. That's certainly a better card in Izzet. But fresh-faced Recruit, a nice compromise that can go in either deck, and a bread and butter card for Boros if that's the direction he's headed.
Absolutely. Great creature to mentor onto with your Wojek Bodyguard. All right, well, not a lot here. There is a Parhelion Patrol, though.
Yeah, a couple of cards that you've been happy with that you mentioned, Parhelion Patrol and the Cosmotronic Wave, but I think Parhelion Patrol just about what you want in this middle stage pick if you're drafting a Boros deck. Fill out your curve, nice mentor creature.
Evasion. All right, maybe we'll say some a straight-up Boros deck here.
It seems to be the way he's headed.
Maniacal Rage. We could just take another 2-drop here. That have Guardians. Not really the direction that Boros wants to go.
Yeah, Vernati Shieldmate or Maniacal Rage, I think, are the choices here. When in doubt, go with the creature. I like that.
Yep, Vernati Shieldmate added to the
Principal.
pile here. Lots of 2-drops, which is right where Boros wants to be.
Yeah, it's nice to have that locked up early because you know that's the most important thing for your Boros deck. So you know nothing can go too badly if you have a lot of 2-drops.
What are you going to pick up here, Reed?
Well, he could take another Goblin Locksmith as another 2-drop. He could take Beam Splitter Mage to have a chance of going back into Is It if he opens something really nice in pack 2. He goes with Loxodon Restorer, which is going to be a marginal 23rd card or a really strong sideboard card in Boros.
Ooh, a Siege Worm still left in this pack. Take heart here.
And actually, one thing that is worth noting is many of his 2-drops are white or with those fresh-faced recruits.
That's true. That's true.
Could be played in Selesnya if for some reason he felt the urge to switch into Selesnya. So he has some doors open to him, but certainly plan A seems to be let's stay on track and draft Boros.
He's got another Shieldmate there, and yeah, some cards that could potentially have, just to keep in his mind that few Selesnya cards were in that pack that he just passed. Generous Stray, World Soul Colossus. All right, are you starting to think about this?
No, I mean he still has fine picks in the Boros colors, but it's something that I'm keeping under my hat that okay, I got past some late Selesnya. If I have a really strong reason, like I open a great white-green rare, then I can factor in that I'm likely to get past Selesnya in pack 3. But for now, things are going fine in Boros. I don't really want to give up on the Command the Storm and the couple of other red cards that I have. But
Color the Culprit and Samala Woodshaper, the last couple of picks here from this pack. There's a Wary Okapi. And a Berry of Bones, the final card in the pack. Let's take a look at what he's assembled and if Boros really is the name of the game for him here. What's pulling him in that direction? Just Command the Storm at this point?
Yeah, you're right. He really didn't pick up a red card since those early stages. He went from Is It to effectively mono white.
Yes, that's what he is.
I don't think he's going back into Is It, despite those fresh-faced recruits. He's too many white cards. So white with probably red, maybe green. So it's not just the number of red cards, but also the fact that having a high concentration of these grizzly bear creatures, the vanilla 2-drops, I think it lends itself more to Boros than Selesnya, because with Boros you really want to come out early and find ways to allow those ground creatures to keep attacking, whereas Selesnya you're more focused on late game power and producing a dominating board presence. So he could still pivot that way if he gets the right cards, but I think plan A should still be Boros.
Okay, so plan A, Boros, Selesnya backup plan for Alex Watt here. Drafted Is It first time around. But we were seeing a lot of late Selesnya there in the first pack. Really interested to see what he opens up here and what's coming downstream for him too. Yeah,
so if I'm Alex, I'm thinking I have the cheap creatures covered. I have enough of these sort of vanilla grizzly bears. Now let me focus on ways to make good use of them. So if he goes into Selesnya, that's going to be expensive Convoke stuff. If it's Boros, more the combat tricks, removal spells, even Maniacal Rage, something like that. But Luminous Bond's looking perfect.
Yeah, why not?
Stay mono white.
All right, mono white and draft. That's what I was hoping for in standard, but Color the Culprit also making note of that in the pack here. He's going to pick up those bonds, so now he's got a pair. Don't leave home without him. Still open. Let's see what he gets past. Second pick here in the second pack. Second draft of the day. There's a Boros Guildgate. Barging Sergeant, nice Boros card. Hazda Marshal, Flight of Equinox. Ooh, a Nullhide Feryx.
Wow.
Oh, God, Sky Knight Legionnaire 2. What do you take?
This is a very challenging pick, and this is a turning point in the draft where he really does have to make a decision. Nullhide Ferox is extremely powerful. He's getting past green from both directions, but I think this is fine. Just don't get fancy. Another thing that we have not mentioned, Alex Watts standing in the Grand Prix,
Yeah.
he is 12-0.
Right.
So what that means for his top 8 prospects is that he has to get one win out of this draft deck. So if I'm going into a draft
That's
with
a good
that in
point.
the back of my head, I'm saying just read, don't do anything crazy. Don't foul it.
Get a quick win with a Boros deck and be happy about it. Call the culprit. Ooh, a Justice Strike.
Okay, so this really validates him in his last pick. Sky Knight Legionnaire into Justice Strike. Now he can just put the blinders on and say I'm happy drafting Boros.
I like a lot of the card names in this set, but this is one that they definitely got wrong because it's obviously called Quit Hitting Yourself. I don't understand. But whatever, Justice Strike, sure.
Yeah, as a younger brother, I can certainly relate to that one.
Target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. Kills off quite a lot in the set, including like stuff like a Siege Worm for 2 mana. Ooh, and taking down a Doom Whisperer, it looks like. Or some kind of demon. Fire Urchin here, Intrusive Pack Beast, which Boros can use to get through some pesky blockers.
That's much better.
There we go.
That's just the type of card that Alex is looking for.
Integrity Intervention. Once again, able to do some damage to attacking or blocking creature. Or excuse me, this is the one that gets +2/+2 or deals 3 gain 3.
Yeah, so both sides of this are just exactly what Boros wants, and particularly having a combat trick as one half of your split card is very valuable because you don't run that risk of having the combat trick trapped in your hand without a good opportunity to pull the trigger. But a super efficient way to win a combat is exactly what you want in Boros.
Sworn Companions here.
So a fine card in Boros, but the one thing that Alex is missing is those mentor creatures. He has just a Parhelion Patrol, but really missing something like a Boros Challenger to make Sworn Companions as good as it can possibly be.
Ooh, that would be a nice one.
Wojek Bodyguard as a common that he'd be really excited about.
There's a look at the Bodyguard. 3/3 with Mentor. Crush Contraband. This is interesting.
I think he really wants Sure Strike here.
Yeah.
He already has a couple of combat tricks, the Integrity Intervention and a Take Heart that he picked up late, but with so many just Grizzly Bear style 2-drops, he really needs to focus on ways to continue attacking if the opponent plays a high toughness blocker, so Sure Strike fits the bill.
Yeah, that's the thing about Boros. You get an early board presence. You've swung them down. They're getting pretty low on their life total, and then you just sit there and you're like, well, I don't have any ways to force through my final amounts of damage, and cards like Sure Strike are the perfect answer to that.
Exactly.
Torch Courier here, Hunted Witness.
Yeah, nothing too exciting. Some marginal options.
All right, we're going to pick up the Hunted Witness here. Leaves behind a 1/1. Soldier token with lifelink when it dies. Prey upon in this pack, Vernati Shieldmate. Ooh, there's a Hammer Dropper.
Yep, I think that's something that he wants. It's not an amazing card, but he needs something a little higher on the curve, something with Mentor. I like picking that up there.
All right, let's drop that hammer. 5/2 Mentor. Card that has done a bit better than I expected.
Yeah, me too.
Candlelight Vigil, nothing else.
We saw that do some good work for Ari Lax
Yeah,
in the
we
first
did.
draft on Healer's Hawk, but
I think
no great targets for Alex so far.
he's just going to pick up a Dimir Informant. Yeah, did Ari Lax draft like 3 Candlelight Vigils again this draft? But I think he only had 1 Healer's Hawk. 10th District Guard, Boros Guildgate.
Yeah, this is a pick where often I'd be looking at the 10th District Guard, but I think Alex is just all set on that style of card, and picking up a 1 of Boros Guildgate will be a nice addition to his deck.
Do you have to be a little bit careful with how many Boros Guildgates you might run in that guild?
Yeah, it's, for a slower deck like a Dimir or even a Golgari Selesnya, I'm pretty happy to play any number of Guildgates that I get within reason. But Boros, where you want to go, you curve out, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, or sometimes even 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, they do come at a higher cost. So I'm less likely to play like 4 Guild Gates, but I think 1 still is a really nice addition to your deck.
Gravitic Punch here. Normally a card more associated with Is It?
Yeah, but sometimes a little bit of reach for your Boros deck is good. It pairs very well with Hammer Dropper, which we saw pick just a few picks ago.
Take 10. It's going to take out this Child of Night from this pack here. Keep the lifelink at bay, if at all possible. There's that Crush Contraband.
By the way, I think Alex is drafting very, very well. I think he had some tough picks early where he was deciding between Is It and Boros, and then some tough picks in the middle where he was deciding between Boros and Selesnya, but finding his home in Boros, just keeping it really solid, really safe. He's come up with a deck that is bordering between fine and very good, and that's, just the happiest situation you could be in if you're 12-0 in a Grand Prix, only needing 1 win in the remaining 3 rounds.
Yeah, and heading into another pack. Yeah, I'm not sure I would have made some of the same decisions. I think I would have been really tempted to go into Selesnya because of that Nullhide Ferox and a couple of cards that I had seen earlier. So great discipline, and he was rewarded for it almost immediately with the next pick.
Yeah, and me too, Maria. I'm not saying that Alex is doing everything exactly the way I would have, but I think he has had a nice, realistic end vision for what his deck is going to look like. He's been playing it safe, not taking unnecessary risks, finding his home, even picking up sideboard cards when he can. So just navigating expertly, in my opinion. I'm really pleased with this draft.
Yeah, well done already. Nice looking Boros deck, and we've still got another pack to go here. See what goodies Alex Watt can pick up in his colors. Let's get some Boros Mentor cards. Let's get some, I'm not going crazy. I just want some Wojak bodyguards.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. He's got the shell already for the deck. He's got a little bit of everything. He's got his early creature drops locked up, a couple good removal spells. So there's not anything pressing that he really needs, but he would love to upgrade a couple of his creatures, maybe pick up 1 more removal spell. And yeah, Mentor. Anything with the word Mentor on it is going to be nice for Alex at this point.
All right, let's take a look. Here we go. Pack 3. Ooh, Temple Garden. Blade Instructor. Speaking of Mentor, there's a very nice option. There's another Command the Storm. Ornery Goblin. Great 2-drop. Skyline Scout has Evasive.
So I did say anything with the word Mentor, and indeed Blade Instructor would probably make his deck and be a pretty decent card, but that's one of the weaker Mentor creatures at common, so I think you could certainly look at Command the Storm. Skyline Scout is good. That's probably a marginal upgrade over some of his 2-drops. I would have taken Command the Storm, but that's fine.
All right, the 2/1 flyer, if you pay 2 when it attacks, is the pickup for Alex Watt here heading into pack number 3. Solidly representing the Boros Legion here at the table. Hammer Dropper number 2. There's a Demotion. Spybug in the back. And, yep, Demotion looks to be what he's going to pick.
Yeah, I'm considering the Hammer Dropper also.
Yeah, that's true.
A nice higher-end creature has Mentor, and if he is considering playing with Gravitic Punch, it's going to be great. But Demotion, a nice way to force through blockers.
Yeah, it's just basically hard removal as far as Boros is concerned a lot of the time.
Yeah, the only thing I would add to that is that it's going to be hard removal when things are going well for you.
Yes.
If you're successfully curving out and you've got your opponent on the back foot and you're not worrying about your own life total, then yeah, it completely...
It's 1 mana!
1/8/7's a blocking creature. But the thing is, if your draw is not cooperating and maybe your opponent's attacking you back and threatening to race, it doesn't actually kill the creature. That creature can still be attacking you.
Well, there's some good cards in this pack, but not necessarily amazing cards for him. A Hammer Dropper, though, we passed it last pack. Pick it up here.
Yeah, and actually knowing that I was going to get another Hammer Dropper makes me more happy with the Demotion pick previously. 2 Hammer Droppers is about good. I don't know that I would want 3 or 4.
There's only so many hammers you can drop before you don't have any toes left.
Precisely.
take a look here, see what he's passed. There's a Righteous Blow. Ooh, an Affectionate Indrik still there.
Well, I will say this pack 3 is not going as well for Alex as the first two. This pack, he's looking at another Sure Strike, which would be a fairly marginal card, or a Righteous Blow, which would probably be a strong sideboard card. Or past that, counter drafting something. But the Boros is not coming the way he really wants it.
All right, he's going to pick up the Righteous Blow here.
And maybe, Maria, something that you alluded to when we were drafting pack 1 is if he had looked forward to Selesnya being open, maybe pack 3 could have gone better for him. I'm going to stand by what I said earlier, that I'm really happy with the way Alex is drafting, and I think being in Boros is a totally fine decision, but it could break in a way where Selesnya would have had more rewards in pack 3.
Rubble Belt Boar here for Alex Watt. Great card, coming in at 4 mana, not too expensive, pumps up one of your attackers, forces the opponent to make potentially a block they didn't want to make, and it can help with Mentor too. As can stuff like Sure Strike. Hunted Witness hiding in this pack here. Fearless Halberdier, Vanilla 3/2.
Boy, he's really striking out.
Yeah. I was really hoping for some good multicolored Boros cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the hammer droppers were there, but nothing like a Sky Knight Legionnaire or an uncommon like a Legion Guild Mage or a Boros Challenger, even True Fire Captain.
All right, so Hunted Witness is the take.
Oh, there we go. That's
nice.
A really nice pickup. That card has been very impressive for me in both Izzet and Boros. Inescapable Blaze. 6 mana, kill virtually any creature you need to kill, or just representing some reach. Goes with Healer's Hawk, though.
All right.
Having not so many Mentor creatures, I am going to disagree with that pick. I would certainly be in the Inescapable Blaze camp. Healer's Hawk is a good card that's overperformed and generally something that I want in Boros, but I don't think Alex really has the support to make it as good as it could be. He doesn't have Maniacal Rage, he doesn't have Candlelight Vigil, he doesn't have too much Mentor.
10th District Guard here, and, especially if you have something like Inescapable Blaze and you're opening 7, if you have that information and your opponent doesn't, pretty big advantage.
Yep. Sometimes the way it plays out with a Boros deck is you'll pressure your opponent's life total early, they'll stabilize, but then they're so sort of shaken, so worried about taking more damage from your creatures that they'll take a conservative approach, allowing you plenty of time to hit your land drops, take more draw steps looking for burn, and then having a reach card like Inescapable Blaze just winds up being absolutely perfect.
Ornery Goblin here, a nice upgrade to a couple of his 2 drops potentially. Hypothesis out of the pack here.
So I think the end result here is going to be that Alex has a totally functional deck. I think he crossed the finish line in terms of number of playables. He has a good curve of creatures. Nothing really missing from his deck. But the difference between a good deck and a great deck is having cards like Vernati Shieldmate versus having cards like Boros Challenger. And he has a lot of filler level creatures in his deck, whereas if they were premium or like a cut above type creatures, his deck would be great. But as it is, I think he just has a average or slightly above average, 5.5 out of 10 type Boros deck.
All right, so we're just rounding out the final picks of this last pack here. Golgari, R.I.P. Poor Molder Hulk. By the way, watch my new series. It's a crossover of the X-Files and the Hulk, where the Hulk solves mysteries for the FBI. Coming soon on ABC. Anyway, yeah, you said it, like pretty medium, middle of the road deck there for Watt. And what I was going to tell you at the start of the draft is he said he was happier about his first draft of the day, which, I can't blame him. That Izzet deck was really something. He thinks, however, that this deck is good enough to get him a win into the top 8, but he doesn't think it's a 3-0 deck.
Sounds pretty spot on to me. I would be happy with this deck if I was in Alex's position at 12-0 in the Grand Prix. I would be a little dubious if I was at 10-2 and needed a 3-0.
Sure.
But yeah, I think Alex pretty much nailed it. He drafted pretty well and has realistic expectations. Let's cross our fingers for him that he can get that one win.
All right, well, we'll see you back here in just a few minutes to see these draft decks play out.